welcome to the Art of Decluttering podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Amy Revell.
And I'm the other host, Kirsty Ferrugia.
Someone asked me on the weekend, Kirst, how long we had been friends for, and I thought we haven't actually told our story on the podcast for a little while, but we have been friends for 25 years, which is just astounding. We are both professional organisers and have been working together and podcasting together for over 5 years. We love it. We've got an amazing team around it, and this podcast is just part of the art of decluttering stuff that we put into the world.
Yes, it is. Just one part of it. We also do courses. Amy has a book. We come into your homes virtually and physically if you live in Melbourne, Sydney, Gippsland, Perth, and central Queensland, although not right now because Jess is with her beautiful newborn TJ.
Congratulations, Jess.
Yay! Now we have 2 Art of Decluttering babies.
Yeah,
literally
the best.
Little babies who are born to our team. So that's exciting, and we're ever growing, ever expanding. Watch this space for the next place we land.
You never know where you're going to find us. Kirst, you know how I'm not very good at hobbies?
Tell us more.
Well, I'm just not very good at not working because I love working and working is my hobby. I have discovered a hobby this week and I was up very late last night doing it because I've become a little bit obsessed. I'm probably about 10 years behind the 8 ball and I've joined every 8-year-old girl doing a diamond art. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, and Cal loves it because I sit still. So he just came and sat at the dinner table last night and the two of us just talked for forever because he's like, you're not moving. You're not getting up and wandering around the house and doing things or working and whatever. It was awesome. And I have a sore neck and a bit of a sore hand from I just did it for hours and hours and hours and hours and I loved it. So I just thought I'd, share that with the world.
That's exciting. So
yeah. I'm probably just going to do one and then I'll be over it, but I'm enjoying the one.
So you shouldn't have put it out to the world because now everybody's going to buy you diamond dots and you'll be like, oh my gosh, get them out of my house.
I bought an Australiana themed one, of course, and it's 2 cockatoos just sitting on some bottle brush. So it's beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or I'll just do it and then bin it. I haven't quite decided, but nothing to do with today's episode, which is all around tips on maintaining progress when you're decluttering and organising.
Or doing diamond dots.
Yeah.
So, because I'm literally going, just before we move on to today's topic, Emily won an award last week for, getting the most points for something. And so and in the assembly, she got to go up and choose a prize. She got, announced at assembly and got to choose a prize. And she brought home a diamond dots for me and her to do together because she knows how
beautiful.
much I enjoy doing them too.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, but we just do them and then let them go. We don't. Well, she's got one that I did during COVID, a dog that she's got up on one of her pin boards, but the rest of them, it's just for the fun of doing it.
Yeah, and I didn't know you were into them. I'm actually really excited about this episode because I think that when we talk about tips on maintaining your progress with decluttering and organising, people often will automatically go to, but I'm not at maintenance stage yet. I'm still in the decluttering and organising and I feel like that's never ending and I can't enter maintenance until I've done the whole thing. And actually, anything that you've done, you can maintain. So even if all you've done is decluttered your picnic basket, you can maintain that by doing some of the things we're going to talk about today. And even if you've just done one room, you can maintain that while you're still making progress on other areas. So don't think, oh my gosh, I have to have done it all and then turn this episode off. This episode is for anyone that has ever decluttered anything that you want to maintain.
Yes, we were with a client yesterday And she was so proud of herself, like going, look at all these spaces that you girls have helped me do, and I've maintained them. And we were like, yes. We were so proud of her too. Like, and our teammate Jodie and I we went to this client together for the first time months and months ago. And so it was like we had switched our other team members for me and her along the way. So this is the first time that we'd both been back together. And I just kept saying to the client, I'm just so amazed at the progress that she's made with other team members and that she's been able to maintain. Like, so she still feels like her house is still cluttered and she's still got a long way to go, but we can absolutely see the dramatic difference that has taken place over the last few months. So, and she has definitely maintained her progress in the areas that she's already done. So it's super exciting. You absolutely don't have to wait until you're finished to give yourself a little parade and be excited about all the things that you have been able to maintain.
Yeah. I think one of the beautiful things, Kirst, in our role as declutter coaches and professional organisers is that a declutter coach actually helps equip you to do that maintenance, because often the reason people have gotten into overwhelm of clutter is life situation has changed or life season has changed, or they've just never been taught and they've grown up in a home maybe that is cluttered. And so this is a whole new concept. And so it is a great joy, like through this podcast, through our weekly email and blog, through seeing clients, is to go, hey, we're going to help you get organised, but really importantly, we're going to give you the tools to maintain that progress, which is testified by your client yesterday who is doing that as a result of that coaching.
Yeah, because our heart for all of you and our clients and everybody is that we do equip you and empower you to maintain this. Like we love being in your ears every week, and we love seeing clients, but our heart really isn't to see our clients every week indefinitely, because that would just prove that we're not
very good at our job if we have to do that.
Doing the coaching side of things. Like, yeah, we can be doing the hard yakka of moving things and clearing things out, but if we're not doing the coaching alongside it as to, digging into your mindset and giving you, tips and tricks on how to maintain it and how to use your time well and how to do the decluttering. If we're not teaching you that along the way, then it's not a very good, it's an awesome business model to be in somebody's home indefinitely. But that's not our heart. No. It's not our heart for you, and it's not our heart for our in-person clients either. Yeah. So we want you to keep listening, because we want you to listen to our dulcet tones every week and have a laugh with us. But we really hope that you're learning from us and that it is making a difference in your home, and eventually you just tune into the topics that resonate with you rather than, oh my gosh, I need the girls in my ears every week just to be able to know how to declutter. No, we want to teach you.
Yeah, we do. We want to do ourselves out of a job in every way possible. I am picturing my veggie garden. And that day that you go, that's it, we're going to replant the veggie garden, and we're going to Bunnings and we're getting all new seedlings, and you come back and you dig up the soil and you put down your new topsoil and you plant your seeds and you're watering them and you're staking them and you're doing all the things. That's like the decluttering or the organising, like preparing, getting it ready. But if you do nothing to that veggie garden, if you never water it, if you never weed, if you never put down those little snail pellets, it is not going to reap the rewards that you want, and the hard work that you put in at the start is not going to feel as rewarding, or you're not going to want to do it again. So that maintenance and actually going what's it going to take to keep it here is what we want to talk about now.
Okay, so our first one is keep practicing habits. So we give you plenty of them in this weekly podcast, and so we want, and that's why we keep creating the podcast, because we want to keep adding to your knowledge on how to keep your home organized and clutter free. So some of the habits that we've spoken about are don't put it down, put it away, and just do it now. And they can really become your best friends and your weapons against clutter returning.
And habits don't have to always be hard. Like I don't find it burdensome to brush my teeth. I don't find it burdensome.
My kids do.
Do they?
Oh my gosh! You'd think by 13 and 11 they'd just like get on with it.
I wonder if it's a sensory thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But habits do start to become habits. And so you will find that as you get into the habit of clearing the dining table after dinner, it becomes less burdensome. You don't have to think about it as much because you're actually creating new neuro pathways. So keep practicing those habits because they do get easier. You integrate them into your everyday and they become not innate, but they become much easier, and there's an ease to which your brain doesn't have to like work against itself to actually complete the habit.
Yeah, and some of those habits can just be really about your thought life, like being really intentional about what it is that, you know, we got a message from one of our dear clients yesterday, and it was like, I just want to get rid of everything now. I see everything that, and even if it's being used, I still want to get rid of it. And I had a giggle and she had a giggle at herself. And she's like, but I can't get rid of everything because my family is still using it. And I was like, yeah, that is the downside of living with other people. If you want to live really minimalist, you have to get divorced and move out of home. And that is not what we recommend for most people.
No, that's not the decluttering solution that we're offering. But one of the things, Kirst, that I think does play into that is conscious consumerism. Yeah. So you can get rid of the stuff that you already have, but the other option is to be conscious about what you bring into your home, because more likely than not, the reason that you got cluttered in the first place is that you were bringing in too much. Mm-hmm. And so if you can kind of stop that flow of, unintentional buying things you don't need, just saying yes to the shops, just scrolling on your phone, buying things without then decluttering the thing that was broken or worn through or not working anymore or didn't suit your needs. That actually is a really, really powerful habit, is that conscious consumerism.
Yeah, and that's where, and you're reading my mind, because that's where I was going also about like being intentional. And I know even with this client yesterday, we went over things that she had already decluttered because we did it at the very beginning and she hadn't built up that decluttering muscle. And so was saying, yes, I need to keep a lot at the very beginning. And so now, a few months later, we're like, well, let's just revisit this area again and see if you have changed your mind about anything. And so it is about being intentional, even with the stuff that you look around like, yeah, I've done awesome in here and I've really decluttered. But like, could you have another look at it all? And, and not all of it all at once, but, could you go back to your handbags and go, well, yeah, it has been a few months and actually I still haven't used that handbag. And so being really intentional about what it is that you're keeping even after you've decided on everything.
That's
which
awesome.
is what this client messaged us yesterday about, like going, I still want to get rid of more even though they're still using it. It's amazing.
It's that deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah,
like doing that deep dive is so critical to maintaining and helping you establish what level you actually want to be living at in terms of your clutter and possessions. Because as your client said, the level that they thought they wanted at the start has actually shifted as they've practiced and as they've done habits and as they've decluttered and as they've lived with it. Like that actually comes into one of the other points we've got to talk about today is to use fresh eyes regularly. So talk a bit about that and how you think that your client yesterday, that was a part of her process.
Yeah. So when we say use fresh eyes regularly, we say, every couple of weeks or months, you can walk through your home and look at it with fresh eyes again, or take new photos, so that sometimes taking a photo, you can be a bit more dispassionate about the thing, and you can pretend that you're looking at your friend's house instead, and just looking at it and going, does everything in that room need to still be in this room, or is this room the best room for that to belong? Or do we even need it? Because we can become clutter blind. So this tool can be great to see if there's anything out of place. Like I said, it doesn't belong in this room, or causing a clutter problem. Like, is the papers still building up in that area? And so maybe you haven't got the solution right for your family about paperwork storage. But yeah, like that's what going over things again can really help to go, oh yeah, I'm looking at this with fresh eyes, with that built up muscles, to go, actually, do I really need this? Or is this the best space for this to live in? Like yesterday, it was so awesome. We were clearing out a spare room that we had done previously, but during the rest of the decluttering process, a lot of stuff had been chucked in this spare room. But we were turning it into a bedroom. So awesome. It was currently, like yesterday morning, it was still a dumping ground. And by the afternoon, we had got it into a bedroom, and really beautiful space. And through that process, we pulled out everything that was had been dumped. And so as I said, some of those things she'd had processed, and we just hadn't found a great home for them yet. And the other things had just got missed, or weren't a priority in previous sessions, and so it was a really great opportunity for her to go through it all again. It was really great because we were able to say, okay, and where does this item live in your home? And she, over the past few months, had created homes for most things, so it was really quick and easy for her to go, yep, it belongs there, yep, it belongs in this space, yep, it goes back there. So it was so encouraging to go back and see this lady and see the improvements and the changes that had happened in her head, heart and home along the way.
That is awesome. Kes, one of the things I find personally that Fresh Eyes is helpful for is I need to ask myself the question, have I organised that which can be decluttered? So there's lots of, there's a container here, or the board games are all in the cupboard and they're all sorted and they're all good. But actually, have I organised games that we really are never going to play again? Or in my stationery box, so the kids bring home, books they haven't used and pencils haven't used and whatever. I've organised it, but really are we going to use them? And so that's another good Fresh Eyes. That's another deep dive of going to a category that you have organised and just being more honest. And as you develop these habits and as you get better at looking at things and making decisions and you build that muscle, it's going to be much easier because you can look at a category and actually make wise choices on not just, oh, but I have room for it. You start to ask questions like, do I need it? Do I use it? Is there another way I can access this? Is it worth the space that it's taking up? What could I do with this space instead? And so your Fresh Eyes then lead to some really helpful questions.
Yeah, and they do lead to that tweaking of systems as well, which is another one of our tips, is to tweak as necessary. So, you may have set up a paperwork system or, a place for the paperwork to be placed before it went into the system. Just FYI, we do have a paperwork course that gives you a great system to set up.
Yeah, awesome system.
Yeah. But you may have created your own and it may not be working. You thought it would work and you've given it a crack for a couple of months and it's still not working for you. And so that's a really great opportunity to tweak as necessary. Or, things may have changed, like you may have been doing your kids' hair for them and now they're doing their own hair and they're doing it in their bedroom or in the bathroom. And so actually you don't need a hairbrush and hair ties by the front door anymore. So just using those fresh eyes to walk around the house and look at systems and asking yourself, is this working? Because it's absolutely okay to change it if it's not. Just because you set up something. Yeah. And just because you set up something, in the past and it worked well for you doesn't mean that it has to last forever.
100%. 100%. I find that the tweak is often around like shuffling something around. So at the moment I'm toying with, I want to redo my office. I just want to shuffle and move my desk situation and all of that. But that's an awesome opportunity to then go, do I have furniture I'm not even using? Like, do I really need this filing drawer? Do I really need this, I don't know, drawer that sits under the desk? Do I need all these things that sit on the desk? Do I need this bookshelf? And so as you tweak, you can really look objectively, like rather than that's where the bookshelf is, I'll assess what's on it. You can really assess like literally everything in a space. And if that seems too overwhelming, just start with like the top of a shelf or your desk or your shoes. Like you can tweak big scale or micro scale. You know, you can do nanoscale tweaking. You can do it however works for you, but that fresh eyes just leads naturally into that tweaking.
And I know we spoke about it before, but I do really want to come back to that being a conscious consumer, because I think that can be sometimes the last place that we hit. And we might get really frustrated about why I've done all this decluttering, but there's still so much in this house. And it can be because we haven't changed our habits around consuming.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's more, you know, as much as you get out, you bring back in. And so coming back to what Amy said before is like thinking about, okay, so I'm going to the shops and I'm buying new jeans because my old jeans are getting too small for me. Said nobody. But then coming home and forgetting to get rid of those smaller jeans and passing them on to somebody else who could use them, who is the right size for them. Just as a personal experience.
I think one of the things then, Kirst, is people often get stuck on the habit of the actioning the decluttering. A lady called yesterday and inquired about our services, and she said, I've actually done all the work, but I have boxes all over the house full of donations that have been there so long, I now feel the need to re-go through them. So I got to coach her through a little bit of, but if you don't remember what's in them, like, is it worth just decluttering them? And do you actually need our services? Or do you just need a 1-hour virtual session where someone coaches you and talks you through it, and then the process is you put them in the car, and at the end of that 1 hour, you take them to the op shop. So I think that people get really stuck on that at different stages. One of the things we've done as a family to help reduce the friction of getting the donations out of the house is either I put them straight in the back of my car, or if they're just like random small items, we've got a box near the front door behind cupboard doors, and that's our donation box. And so we just put things in there that need to be going to the op shop. And then when I'm doing a run, I just literally grab that box, pop it in a bag, and off we go. So different things will work for different families. What do you guys do, Cass?
Yeah, we have the same. We've got a space in our cupboard that is where the donations go. And because I'm going to the charity store weekly, it just gets put in my boot like when it's full or when I remember, because it's down low so I don't see it. And I'm a very visual person. If I need to do something, I need to see it.
She's the sticky note on the computer screen girl.
Yep. I'm the putting it in front of my feet on on the floor in my study by the door, so that I actually have to step over it to get out of the room. So I really am a real visual person, and so whereas Simon's not, and it really frustrates him.
Cal does the same. His work bag goes in front of the door the night before because he will walk out the door without it, and I'm like, it is just so annoying to just see that bag sitting there, and like it'll be everything he needs to take in the morning sitting at the front door, so he has to move it to go out the door.
Yeah,
but that's exactly, like, it makes sense. And so I'm just like, and yeah, that's just, I don't really care.
And so our charity box is in behind a cupboard, but Simon has to remind me that there's stuff in there because it's too low. I know I'm short, but I'm not that short that a 30 centimetre box is visible to me when I open up a cupboard.
Yeah, fair enough.
And because I'm going there often, and even if I wasn't, I drive past it often enough because, like, admittedly, I am not seeing clients every week now, and so I'm not, or if I am, I often go with a team member who does the donation drop-off for us, and so, but I do drive past one regularly, and so sometimes it just takes leaving that 5 minutes early to run an errand, and so that you give yourself time to just drop it in. And especially if you know where their back door is, you drive around to the back. So here, for all you Aussies, drive around to the back of Salvos, drive around to the back of Vinnie's, drive around to the back of Savers, because that's where you can do your big drop-offs. And you don't have to tramp it through the store and have to ask anybody where you need to donate it. You can just drive around the back, and during work business hours, and usually before 3:00.
One of the other things that I recommend to people, Kirst, all the time is say, get to know where the local charity bins are. And I don't know if these charity bins are everywhere in the world or it's just an Australian thing, but often in like a supermarket car park, or our local primary school has just put one on the outside the office, there's bins that the charities come and collect from. So if you're getting into the regular habit of those donations and you've got just a bag's worth, just know where your local op shop bin is, because you can just put it in there whenever suits you. The other idea that we recommend a lot is where you've got your place for donations is if you find that it's lots of clothes that you're donating, have a donation bin in the bottom of your wardrobe so that, as Kirst said, when you do get home and you've got your new jeans and you're putting them away, it's really simple. You're reducing all that friction. You just take the old ones and pop them straight in that box at the bottom of your wardrobe. The way this doesn't work is if you've got kids and you're doing it with toys, do not keep the donation box for toys anywhere near where children can see them, because as soon as an item lands in the donation box, it automatically becomes their favourite toy. And so it will go straight back in, no matter whether they've not seen it for years or they played with it yesterday. It will not stay in the donation box. So having it behind cupboard doors like Kirst and I do is great if you've got little ones, or even in the back of the car if there's space, is great when you have little ones that may just decide to declutter things all the time.
Well, that's some of our tips for continuing to maintain a decluttered space.
You may be about to say this tip, but I'm jumping in. Last night, we started a fresh round of our head, heart and home course. Is that where you...
I was about to do that. Thank you.
Tell everyone what our head, heart and home course is, because my tip is join it because it's not too late, and that will help you create all of the habits that we've talked about, plus so many more with accountability. But give us the head, heart and home promo.
So our head, heart and home course, we go through all three of them: your head, your heart, and your home. So it's not going through room by room of your space. So it's not that we tell you how to declutter your bedroom and this is what it should look like. But we do teach you how to declutter so that you can apply it to every single room in your house and every single space in your house. So, and we talk about what can come up for you in your head and your heart, and do the mindset work and the motivation work. And we have 6 keys to decluttering. It is education, which is, the podcast is part of that education, and so is the course part of the education. And we have motivation, mindset, time, habits, and action. And so it is a lot of theory so that you can put it into practice yourself. Or you can have virtual sessions with us afterwards to actually be putting it into practice. But it's definitely putting it into practice during the course as well. And we are having a live round, which means that you get coaching from Belinda and I each week for 6 weeks. And so we get to answer any of your questions, and we go through the course all together. So everybody's doing it at the same time, and all of our past participants, a lot of them come back and share in the fun that is the coaching calls, and they're there to cheer you on and encourage you whilst doing this exact thing of how to maintain it. So a lot of them are in the maintenance mode, and so they can really inspire and encourage you as well.
Don't forget to join, and it is the all-new price of $247. So it is the cheapest it has ever been. We know that it is difficult for lots of people financially at the moment, so we wanted to make that as accessible as possible. Too many A's and S's and C's in that sentence. I would love to read a review, Kirst. This is an email review that we received from Calming Influence NZ, so presumably a listener in New Zealand. They say, like many of your listeners, I came late to the party and only discovered you last year, so I'm going back and listening to old episodes. I too really enjoy the humour, your honesty, and all the great tips. I just love the fact that you have so many episodes to listen to, and pretty much any topic gives me that jolt of motivation and enthusiasm to keep up the good work and keep on keeping on. As I've slowly chipped away at all of this decluttering, I'm finding I can keep the house cleaner and tidier, and I'm more motivated to do so. It is so satisfying. Even though I have small children and the floor is regularly covered in Duplo, fake food and library books, and the tabletops are covered with art projects, writing practice, etc., the overall look and feel of the house is slowly becoming so much more welcoming, inviting, and satisfying to me, which is amazing as parenting often feels like such a strain anyway. It's so nice to see when the house just doesn't add to that overwhelm. Thank you, ladies, and keep up the good work. We love your reviews. It really encourages us, but it encourages each other. And we want to be an encouraging community. It's not just about Kirst and I contributing. It is about us creating a community around us of passionate declutterers and organisers and hope bringers to freedom.
Yeah, so if you haven't joined our Facebook group, we would love for you to head over to Facebook and join the Art of Decluttering community, because that is filled to the brim of people who are on this journey who are also encouragers, and you get to see lots of before and afters, and people ask lots of questions like, how do I do this? How do I tackle this area? What do I do when this happens? And you can add your voice and your knowledge and your wisdom and learn from others as well in that space. So come join the community and come and join our Head, Heart and Home course. It is absolutely not too late.
No.
We would love to see you in there.
Definitely not too late. We would love you to leave a review. I don't have my words today, Kirst. I don't have a specific type of person. Do you have one in mind?
Yes, I do.
Great.
I'm thinking if you feel like you're at maintenance mode in any way, shape and form that we have spoken about today, so whether you've done one tiny area and you feel like you can maintain that tiny area, or whether you've done your whole home, if you resonated with this topic at all, then we would love for you to leave a review. You can do that on your podcast app, or send us an email at hello@theartofdecluttering.com.au, and you might hear your review read out too. But more than that, it encourages other people to listen, and it encourages us. So we hope you have a lovely week.
Have an amazing week.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
If you've learnt something awesome today, we'd love you to leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook so others can find our podcast too.
Don't forget you can see the show notes in your podcast app or over at our website artofdecluttering.com.au. So if there's anything you want more info on, check it out there.
If you'd like to join our supporter community, you can do so over at patreon.com/theartofdecluttering.
We hope you have a great rest of your day
and enjoy the freedom. We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture.
We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging.